Hey, welcome to the live stream. Today we're doing an at-home workout. So come along with me. We're going to be building strength together. So if you have questions, let me know in the chat. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be using resistance bands. I've been really enjoying the bands recently. I feel like I get a better workout in my chest and back using these. So I'm going to warm up with a lighter band and then go to a heavier band in just a minute. So I start out with a lighter band, but I find that for some reason I feel like maybe I have better control with the bands, but I feel like I get a better workout. I feel like I'm more tired in the muscle, and like I can feel it more after. Now the bands I'm using are the same weight as the dumbbells I'm using, and I think that's an important part of it. I'm not going a lighter band, trying to keep the weights as much the same as I can. So if weight for weight, it's equivalent. But with the bands, I don't have to do as much bending towards the front, especially on this row. And that, I think, is what's really causing it to be a more effective workout for me, is I don't have to think about what's going on my lower back, so I can really focus in on my shoulder blades. And that is making it more effective for me as an exercise. So it's better technique. Alright, I'm going to shift up to a heavier band, or a combination of bands. So today I'm going to be doing burnout supersets, just seeing how many sets of exercises I can get through before the muscle is just completely tired out. And that I'm going to do that till for the weekend, trying to get everything I can out of the muscle, still keeping good technique. So let's see how many sets I can actually get through. So I'm going to be doing these in supersets. Do you guys know what supersetting is and why we do it? Let me know in the comments if you know why. And I think what I'm going to do is do a quick loop. Now you don't have to do it quite this way. I just find it's a little bit better for the space situation I have here. right, so that was set number 1. Now going to set number 2. So we do supersets because we can get through a workout faster that way. Well, one side of the muscle is recovering, the other side is working. So we always work muscles in pairs. It's just a more efficient way of doing a workout. One more. And relax. So this is going into set number 2. We're trying for as many sets as we can. Trying to burn out before the weekend. With the weekend, we have more days off, so more time to recover. One sec. Bring this a little higher. As the one thing about bands is they're a little bit more finicky to set up. They can be just as effective, but definitely they take more work to set up on some exercises. One more. All right, so that was set number 2. Going for set number 3. So I like doing the incline press over the straight press. So straight press is when it's at shoulder height. Incline press is when it's down below your weight or down by your waist. So for me, it's right about where my belly button is. Then there's the decline press where it's anchored up high and you're pushing downward that gets more of that lower pec. But the reason I like the incline is it gets more of that upper pec. I've been starting that more recently, doing that for probably about a month now. And I find that this is starting to grow much more. And I like how that feels on my shoulders. Plus, I think this is a more practical muscle group to build because when you're reaching, pushing something up overhead, this is the muscle that's gonna control that movement. It's this upper fibers of your chest, the anterior deltoid, and some of your tricep. It's the same muscles. So I think this is a very practical set of muscles to get strong in. All right, and I think I'm going to do about 5 exercises today. So this is the first 2, doing rows and incline press. So anchoring about chest height and arms out in front, pulling back to your rib cage. This is working the lats and the muscles around your shoulder blade and your bicep. So I'm really trying to bend my elbow and emphasize that bicep. This is set number 3 of this exercise. So I'm seeing how many sets I can get done for the weekend. And that's 15. So I'm not necessarily going for a specific rep number. I'm more just trying to go until I feel tired in that muscle. So as long as you're doing more than 5 reps, you're building muscle. Usually people build muscle between 5 reps and 30 reps, which is a huge range of repetitions. Now, it's not saying you won't build muscle if you did 3 reps or 35 reps, but that range usually is the more optimal range. Especially when if you are only doing 3 reps before you tire out, that's not very many reps. That's more likely that it would be hard to gauge how many reps you're going to be able to do. And usually that just means you're going too heavy for building muscle. It can be a good thing for your nerves. There's reasons to do it, but usually you don't want to start there. You want to start more in the 10 rep range. And that gives you some strength, some muscle building, and it tends to be easier on your joints. So especially if you're just starting out, I'd aim for higher reps. And that way you don't risk your joints, because once those go, they don't come back. So you don't want to do that. For me, I actually was doing so much for my knees that I actually ripped bone in my knee. So I actually tore the bone right here in the front of my knee because I was putting so much pressure on it continually and not letting it heal. And so you don't want to do that. You don't want to go so heavy that you're gonna have what's called a avulsion, where it actually pulls off the bone. Not that that's not easy to do, but trust me, it's very painful when it happens. So I wouldn't want that for you guys. So that's why I recommend a little bit higher reps with lower weights, and it puts a little less stress on your body. For some reason that black band is a little slack. There we go. So if you are just joining us, we're hanging out, working out together, building strength. So, I think it's important to make this a part of your day. We all could use more strength, building more muscle, because all of us, as we age, lose muscle if we don't maintain it. So it doesn't matter if you're 20 or 80, all of us need to be exercising, building muscle. Because if you don't use it, you will lose that muscle. On average, we lose about 1% muscle per year after 35. So the more muscle you can build when you're young, and the more you maintain that muscle as you age, the better better off you are. A lot of people have heard of osteoporosis. That's where the bone breaks down. But some people haven't heard of osteopenia, where it's a little bit less than that for the bone, or sarcopenia, where that's for your muscle, where your muscle mass has declined. And the way we counter that is by using it, by putting it under load, under resistance, helps negate both sarcopenia and osteopenia can be mitigated by that, or can be reduced by resistance training. This is set number 5. Feels a little uneven. There we go. That's something with bands. You have to make sure that it's even on both sides. You wouldn't want one side to be really big and the other side to not be as large, where it's uneven. This is the last set, I think. And I think that was set number 5, which is good. That was more than I was expecting to be able to do today. There has been a lot more pollen in the air recently, which I don't know if any of you have seasonal allergies, but I know for me that affects my entire body when there's pollens and stuff in the air. I feel sore and it's hard to sleep. It's just much more stress on my body. And so I think that's something for all of us though, even if you don't have seasonal allergies, sometimes stress in your life can affect your workout, where you feel like, man, why am I so much weaker today or not able to do as much? Sometimes it can be stress. Maybe you didn't sleep as well the night before. And it's important to not beat yourself up about that. It's just accept, hey, this is my limit for today, and then go from there. It's not about how many reps you do, it's about doing as much as you can and staying consistent. So if you work out, the important thing is working out and pushing your body a little bit each time. Now, if, say for instance, you normally do 12 reps of an exercise and you feel so tired and so stressed that day that all you can do is 8, that is okay. That it's better to do the 8 reps than skip a workout and do 0. And then go home, get some rest, make sure you're recovered. That's the big thing too, is balancing stress to recovery. If you are more stressed, maybe you need to take more time to recover, to make sure you get the sleep you need. Make sure you get enough calories, just enough, stay hydrated. and relax. I know that was a big one for me, is not getting enough sleep. And I found for me, taking a magnesium supplement really helped that. Now, that might not be what's causing your insomnia, if you have insomnia, or if you feel tired all the time. But for me, that made a big difference. That recovery was the big limiting factor of my exercise. All right, now we're gonna go to legs. So, I'm gonna try something a little different for legs today. Is this gonna work? I think so. All right. So I'm going to try a hip thruster using a bench. So, I don't know if this is going to work on camera. So going here, shoulders at the bench. Then I'm going to push up. That's not going to really work. We're going to do a hip bridge instead. So for a hip bridge, dumbbell right on my belly button, pushing down through the heels, holding the weight right over the top of my hips. So I'm really squeezing the glutes as I do this. Right now I'm just warming up. So this is probably too light of a weight, even for a warm up. I'm gonna go to a heavier dumbbell. I like these adjustable dumbbells. They're very fast to switch from one weight to the other. If you want to get a set of your own and help out the channel at all, there's an affiliate link down below. You don't pay any more for the dumbbell, but it does give a small benefit to the channel if you go through that link. So these adjustable dumbbells, very nice, very fast to switch from one weight to the next. I used to have ones where they would screw in on the sides, and those were much slower for changing out the weights. You have to unscrew it and then screw in the new plate, and it's just a huge hassle. And that would be a hip bridge. Yeah, these much faster to be able to just put them in the stand, and then it's just like that. You can switch the weight that fast. So I find those a lot easier, especially if I'm doing multiple exercises with dumbbells. I'm gonna do a walking lunge paired with the hip bridge because I want to work these quad muscles in the front. Whew. So walking forward, lunge, and then I just take a step back. And this is working these quads. I'm just warming up the muscle before I add some dumbbells to it. Let me show this way. So it's just step forward, kneel down, step forward, kneel down. Now on this, I'm making sure my knee doesn't buckle inwards, so I'm keeping it right in line with the toe. Now if you need to, you don't even have to do this one with dumbbells. This will work your quads just fine without dumbbells. And if you feel challenged doing these, it's totally fine. I'm doing this as a warm-up. I find I need to add a little bit of extra weight to make this challenging, but it's totally a fine exercise without dumbbells too. All right, shifting to hip bridge. So, grab this right over the top of my hips, hold it with your hands so it doesn't go anywhere. Pushing down through your heels, bridging your hips up, squeezing those glutes. Going all the way down, tap, and then back up. Now as I'm doing this, I'm trying to keep my back flat. So I'm not arching up as much as I can. I'm trying to not arch. I'm trying to push through the back of my hips, pushing my knees apart a little bit so they keep away from one another. They don't buckle inwards. I'm going till I feel tired in the back of my hips. And I just roll it to the side, set the weight down, and sit up. And just like that, I can quickly adjust the dumbbells. That's why I really like these. These are the Nordic Track adjustable dumbbells. It's very helpful. All right, going to a walking lunge. So I'm just doing full body today. So both upper body with the rows and bench press or incline press, and then walking lunge and hip bridge for lower body. Now, I'm going to be doing one more exercise for the shoulder. So we'll do that after this. So walking lunge, kneeling down and back up. So I'm going here, kneel down, and kneel down. And that's one. And two. I'm gonna try for 10 of these. 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Let's see if we can get to 10. 7. 8. 9. Last one. And 10. And take just a minute between sets. When I'm doing legs, heart rate always shoots up pretty fast. So I'm just gonna take a minute and then go on to the next set. So you can go one set to the other. That's totally fine. I find for me, especially when I'm doing legs, if I don't take a minute between, then I lose technique. I'm not quite as proficient, or I'm not doing the movement as well as I could be. So I want to really make sure I'm hitting the muscles I want to, or working the muscles I want to, not having auxiliary movements where I'm putting my joints at risk. So that's why I take a minute or two between sets on legs, especially with legs. They tend to be heavier weights and more forces involved in these large muscles in your legs. Okay. All right. Going for a hip bridge next. All right. Holding that dumbbell right over the top of your hips, pushing your hips up towards the front, squeezing your glutes. And rolling to the side. Oh. So if you're ever working in the gym, you feel like you're a little red, you're a little bit sweaty, that's normal. Don't feel like, oh man, there's something wrong with me. That actually means your body is working as it's supposed to. It's healthy, it's staying cool. That's why you turn red, why you get sweaty, because your body is trying to dissipate that heat. That means you're working hard, you're doing it right. All right. So we'll see how many sets we do for legs. Might be more of a 2-set or 3-set week. Because legs are a lot more fatiguing than upper body. Just watching my heart rate. Letting it come back down just a minute. So going for a walking lunge, stepping forward with one foot, kneeling down, and the other foot, kneeling down. Trying for 10 reps of this. Each time you turn is 1 rep. So that's 1, and that's another. So we're stepping forward with 1 foot and then the other foot. Trying to stand straight and tall so my quads engage. The more I lean forward, the more my glutes are going to be the focus. And that is it for me. So really trying to build the strength and muscle in my legs. That's why we go for around 10 reps. Really trying to challenge the muscle and build that strength. If you've been working out with me, let me know, are you feeling out of breath? Working too. So taking just a minute between, then we're going to go back to hip bridges. Now, careful when you're going down to this position. If you want to, you can set the dumbbell on the floor. Just to your side, like this. Let me do it this hand. So you can set the dumbbell to your side, bring it up into your lap, and then you're in position. Lay back, bend your knees, and you're ready for a hip bridge. So holding that dumbbell in place with your hands so it doesn't roll on you. You're gonna push down through your heels, bridging your hips up towards the ceiling. Try and go for at least 10 reps. If you can do more, that's okay. That's totally fine. And relax. Rolling the dumbbell to the side, and then you can sit up. Almost done. We have one more set of walking lunges, and then I have a bonus exercise for the shoulder. Now, I started doing these deltoid exercises, these shoulder muscle exercises, a little bit for aesthetic, for how it looked visually, but I find my shoulders actually feel so much better doing these deltoid exercises. They feel more fluid, more lubricated, where it doesn't feel like they're as stiff all the time. Or stiff, I shouldn't say all the time, but on some exercises. So I found strengthening that deltoid helped my shoulder feel buttery smooth. So I really like these for a functional standpoint and a visual look. All right, going to the last set of walking lunges. So each step forward is a count for one side and the other. So if I go right foot, left foot, that would be one count. Trying for 4 more. Trying to keep my heel on the ground so I'm not going up on my toes. 2 more, 2 more. And relax. All right, now I'm going to a light dumbbell for this one, because relatively it's a small muscle group. So I'm gonna do a leaning lateral raise. So with the lateral raise, if I'm not leaning, this part of the movement is almost completely wasted. So that's why we lean away, so that this bottom part of the movement has tension all the way through that movement. And that's where we actually build strength and muscle, is when it's in a stretched position under tension, where there's high tension in that muscle that we're working. So that's why we lean away, to maintain that tension all the way through the movement. Trying to go 5 times up, 5 times down, or 10 times up, but at minimum 5. So if you can only get to 5, try a slightly lighter dumbbell. Or if you don't have a lighter dumbbell, another way to do this is with a water bottle. Where, take something like this, where it's full of water, lift it up to the side, just as long as it's sealed. You can do this with a 16-ounce water bottle, will give you 1 pound. Same thing on the other side. All right, and switching back, try and keep the same number of reps on each side. So I'm gonna do about 10 or 11 on each side. So it's 10 on that side, so 10 on the other side. Just finishing up with a burnout for the deltoid. That muscle that runs right across the top of your shoulder. Same thing, one more time each side. Last time on our other side. And relax. So, if you like these workouts and want to see more, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you guys there.